Decapitation!
What if I told you, in the deep backlog of games that came out in the mid-2000s, there exists a true gem of creativity? A game inspired by the artwork of heavy metal album covers, one voiced by an insane cast. We're talking Jack Black, Tim Curry, Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, it's about fucking time!
What if I then told you it was created by Doublefine, those geniuses that gave us Psychonauts? Brütal Legend is an action-adventure video game that fits the above description. Tim Schafer created a masterpiece that pays homage to a world of heavy metal, like an interactive hall of fame through the different themes of metal, from your classic to glam to the heaviest demonic metal. You play as Eddie Riggs, a Jack Black modelled roadie who's isekai'd away to a fantasy world of rock and roll. You're tasked with leading a legion of downtrodden humans against a range of supernatural overlords, with an axe in your hand and a guitar capable of literally melting faces in this dimension. This game, let me tell you, this game is like nothing else. Now, unfortunately, because of YouTube and things like licensing and copyrights, I have to gloss over the wonderful soundtrack of this heavy metal world. But let me show you what you're missing here. I genuinely don't know how they got the licenses for all of these in their game. Even with that gone, the game stands on its own 2 feet, with its humorous writing and unique blend of hack and slash and RTS elements. And while they aren't the most polished, I feel like we should dive into these things piece by piece, because this game deserves to be recognised for what it is. Tim Schafer's love letter to all things metal, rock and roll.
Face all over your shirt.
Gameplay in this title has wild variety. For the most part, you're in a third-person action-adventure game controlling Jack Black in roadie form. There's an open world you can explore whilst following the main narrative thread of the game's story. In his arsenal, Eddie's equipped with a giant axe called the Separator and a flying V guitar called Clementine. As we're in a world fundamentally influenced by heavy metal, you can use that guitar to cast magic, either a few attacking spells or special guitar solos that will have massive impacts on the game, either supporting you and your friends or melting the faces of your enemies, literally. The open world can be explored by riding your hot rod, the Druid Plough, which can be upgraded by visiting the Guardian of Metal himself, Ozzy Osbourne. You spend what's called fire tributes to do this. You know, at a concert when people put their little lighters up and, you know, tribute to a song, it's those. And we can see that for this game specifically, if it can make a reference to rock culture, it will do. Several missions involve Eddie exploring areas and hacking through various evildoers, though several other missions introduce RTS elements in the form of stage battles. It's clear a lot of the missions previous to those serve as tutorials for those stage battles, and as a roadie, you manage an army of various different minions, managing fans, seeking out and attacking your opponents, whether they come from all angles or have specific stages for you to try and destroy. Each unit you can summon comes with its own flavour of rock inspo, and a double team ability you can use exclusively with them. This might be something like forming a mosh pit with your headbangers, or getting one of your razor girls to jump on your shoulders so she can fire off a shot. Now this game crams a lot into its gameplay, and while I feel it's almost missing a few elements from both the genres it tries to contain, the blend of the two is something unique to this IP, and I think it's been sorely missed. Now for these big missions, the general formula is to free up fan geysers. These are your resources to purchase units, set up merch booths on them so you can actually spend your fans, summon in units to defend them, and then storm your enemy stages while they're trying to do the same. This Battle of the Bands type mission can also be played via multiplayer, anywhere from 1v1 to 4v4, with a variety of different factions, each containing their own units, solo spells, strengths and weaknesses. Now I found the game to be good at mixing up its core gameplay loops, introducing different concepts in terms of attacks or specific units, and asking the players to use them in sometimes quite out of the box ways when we talk about the various boss fights in the game. Now I found the difficulty challenging at times but not impossible, and the RTS elements gave me the chance to come up with my own solutions to missions using a variety of different troop types, or jumping in hack and slash style and carrying a lot of the weight of the mission on my own shoulders. Overall, good gameplay, if a little clunky at times. For once, I'm starting on the sound design and the insane pedigree of voice actors Schafer managed to get involved in this title. There's over 35,000 lines of spoken dialogue, and it's a highlight for the game as far as I'm concerned. There's no lines where I'd complain in terms of the delivery or even the content. In terms of the pedigree I mentioned, due to Jack Black's involvement, many other artists and people involved in the heavy metal scene became interested in the game themselves. You've got Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead.
Nice. Thick as a baby's arm.
Judas Priest's Rob Halford.
Oh, bravo. Goody. Someone is putting on a puppet show.
The Runaways' Lita Ford.
We're already an army, and you're not welcome to join it.
And as previously mentioned, Ozzy Osbourne as the Guardian of Metal. But wait, you think it ends there? You've got Tim Curry playing a demonic overlord.
For teaching us the secrets of the Titans and ensuring our rule over this land forever.
And at one point they even had Ronnie James Dio recording lines. The voice acting is amazing, with each of these actors having characters handcrafted to suit them. Jack Black and Osbourne both injected profanities off script into their dialogue in quite a well documented way that got kept into the main game. They actually had to introduce a whole system to bleep out the profanities after these two recorded their lines. The soundtrack, as previously mentioned, is insane, and the sound design in other areas rocks too, with All of Your Magic producing some absolutely tubular licks from the axe. Graphics as well are quite cool, with the aesthetics specifically having jumped off the page of some famous vinyl covers. Hot rod engines growing out of the ground, bass strings being spat from metal spiders, a sea of black tears. The units in this game each cut unique silhouettes as well, which I feel accurately shows how strong they are or what they're good at. And when we get to the intro, you'll see they've used quite a very multimedia approach to blend together a ton of different art styles and inspirations. The graphics themselves are a bit mid-2000s, it could do with some polish, but then again it's an old game, they looked sick back then.
Okay, I would ask nicely for some of your giant bass strings, but you don't strike me as the negotiating type, so out of personal respects, I'll just get right to the ass kicking.
The story's great, though I feel it suffers from pacing issues in its final act, and it makes sense, as a full faction were cut from the game, and I imagine they filled this gap. Overall though, it's a romp through a metal fantasy world, where one roadie props up the biggest concert tour of his life, to rescue humans held in slavery by metal demons. There's a ton of zones to explore, and it's almost a tour of metal's greatest moments. Now we're going to get into it in more detail, so expect spoilers from here on out.
Say a word. Just keep walking, real casual, okay? Let's do this. I'll show it to you, but you can't tell anybody else where it is, okay?
Valuable.
Like the kind of thing no one man should possess.
Yes!
Here it is. Okay. You sure you're ready for this? Because what I hold in my hand is not just gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your soul. Go ahead. Open it. If you dare.
Now the game really does a good job of stepping forward on its front foot as a unique game. Like, I can't speak of many live action menus, but it's so cool given the game's context. Anyway, into the actual game.
Watch it. Dude, check it. Oh, hey, Riggs. Sorry I smashed your guitar last night. What the?
It's like new.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
Uh-oh. I told you not to climb on that, you stupid mother!
It's great the game includes the option to censor the profanity or neutralise the gore. Like, I kept both active, but I think letting players choose is the best way to please everyone.
A good roadie knows his whole job is to make someone else look good. Keep someone else safe. Help someone else do what they were put here to do. A good roadie stays out of the spotlight. If he's doing his job right, you don't even know he's there. But then before you even realize he was there, or what he did, he's gone.
day has finally come for us to serve our master.
Hey. Hey, I'm not your master.
No, you are not.
Yeah,
When we finally get into the action, we get to slice up some cultists chanting around an axe we can pick up, and this axe is called the Separator. We've got some basic combos as we slash about and separate people's limbs from their bodies. Eddie tends to swing exactly where you aim him, and combat is your basic hack and slash until you pick up your guitar and things get a bit heavier. The more we play our guitar, the hotter it gets until we let it cool down. Magic is music in this world. Music is magic, whichever way you want to say it. Eddie's been transported into a new world, though we're given little information as to how and why. The scenery is pretty baller as well. We're stood on top of a bone pile that screams Motorhead cover art. Now normally you'd be having some slick soundtrack in the background, but obvious license issues here. The enemy design really stands out too, with Jack Black's commentary being a cherry on the top.
Alright, nice try, lady. Or whatever you are. I'm supposed to think you're a nun, but I know you're really some kind of big ugly demon, so let's have it. Aha! I knew it! Big ugly demon. Kinda sexy, though, in a weird way.
Eddie begins his route down from the Shrine of Ormagoden, and as we approach the exit gates, we meet a new character.
Unimaginable evil. Please transport me off this awesome corpse pile. I am but a visitor in your strange world, which some would call hellish, but I have to admit, it's kind of badass.
Oh man, don't tell me I've been slaying hot girls this whole time.
The axe. So you come for it as well.
She's called Ophelia, and she introduces us to double team moves. If we press Y near a teammate, we can perform a special combo with them. Ophelia is warning us that we need to leave before Emperor Diviculus arrives, and that we're slaying his personal guard, which is a bit of a faux pas in this dimension. Being as we have no other route, we decide to pal along with her, and the story does a good job of giving you plot beats piecemeal, setting up high stakes. We've just slammed into an unknown world, we're surrounded by an army of evil, how the hell are we getting out?
What have you done?
With the Druid plough in hand, we can ride out of here, and car controls are average for a mid-2000s game, but still quite fun. We can dash about, mowing people down to our heart's content. While we're driving, Ophelia gives us some exposition on the current state of humanity, that they're enslaved, and we begin to approach the first boss fight in the game, a big slimy tentacle.
Why such a large force?
What? Because we're badasses! Or maybe Emperor What's-His-Name has something against you. Okay, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this place is nuts!
Yes, these are dark times for our land, but there are a few of us fighting to change the way things are. Is that why you've come? To join us and fight for the liberation of humanity?
You know, I don't really know. Haven't really thought about it yet, but so far that's the best explanation I've heard.
Now the fight is pretty simple. Use your nitro boost to avoid its slam attack, and then hit its little tentacles that stick to the ground. It's quite basic and serves as a bit of a car tutorial. With it defeated, we can get on the road and head to wherever it is Ophelia and our friends have been guerrillaing it up.
Right behind us!
Don't worry, we're way ahead of the...
Ah, shit! The bridge is really collapsing! Just a little speed bump. Smooth sailing from here on out.
Watch out for that hole on the left!
I wasn't gonna drive in there. What do you think, I'm stupid?
Wow!
You like the car?
Yeah! Can't wait to show it to Lars.
Eventually, we do meet Diviculus, with some amazing voice acting by Tim Curry.
Daviculus. They say it was the fire beast Ormagodon himself.
No. Far, far worse than me. It was Sikoria. I can smell her blood. The season of pain is upon us.
But why has she returned now? What does she want?
War. Finally.
Turns out an entity known as Sikoria is involved. Just keep that thread in your head for a moment. Though for the time being, we can hear Ophelia and Eddie talk about the Resistance's need for a roadie.
Food, shelter, transportation. So many details to manage.
Sounds like what you need is a roadie.
What's a roadie?
It's a long story. How about when we get to town, we have a big powwow with your whole army. We'll have a campfire, and I'll tell you all about what I do and where I came from over a big flagon of mead.
The scenery's awesome, with swords, spears and old highways cropping out of the ground everywhere. There was some huge inspiration from various artists, and a lot of Nordic influence as well. When we get to Bladehenge, we get to meet Ophelia's friends.
So let me get this straight. These performers, they don't even have to tune their own instruments?
Nah, that's our job. The roadies. The rock star's job is just to deliver the audience to the promised land of rock.
Fascinating.
Can we get back to the part where you were summoned here from another world?
Oh yeah, by this little guy here.
You were brought here by Ormagodon? The eternal fire beast?
The cremator of the sky.
Destroyer of the ancient world.
Yeah, I accidentally got a little blood in its mouth and it totally went nuts on me.
There are those who speak of a day when Ormagodon the fire beast shall bring a warrior into this world.
To destroy us.
To deliver us.
There is some dispute about the translation, but having met you, I can tell that you are here to help us. To lead us.
To wage war against the demons. To liberate humanity.
Hell yeah!
Turns out we might be a promised warrior who will lead these people into a great war against these demons. We plan on being a roadie and leading this like it's a big concert tour. The men and women of this land have been captured and enslaved, the men in the mines and the women in a pleasure tower. We're given the freedom here to explore the overworld on the way to these missions, which I'd recommend taking up. After all, you'll miss out on Ozzy if you don't.
So listen, if you do something that pleases the gods, they might reward you. With a fire tribute. Ha 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 ha. When they've paid you enough tributes, come see me. I'll share some more secrets of metal with you. Like, how to turn that little beast you got over there into a real monster. Among other things. Got it?
Ozzy explains the currency of the game. If you do something awesome, the gods will get their lighters out for you. You can spend those tributes to upgrade your weapons, cars, solos. It's pretty cool. Anyway, to the mines. When we get a lovely metaphor for troubled youths.
So this is it. The crushing pit.
Hundreds of our strongest young men, toiling their lives away, like their fathers and grandfathers before them, given no tools, forced to break solid rock with nothing but their own thick skulls.
Well, come on, let's bust them out of there. Where's the gate?
There is no gate.
What?
They have nowhere to go. No idea how to function outside the pit. Society has no use for them, so they stay underground. I wish I could help them, but I mean, what do you do with a bunch of kids who don't know how to do anything but bang their heads all day long?
You start a revolution, Lars. Right now! It's time to sound the battle cry!
Have you been looking at my sword?
The game is full of missions such as these, which are well built and standalone on their own merit, but they've definitely made serve as tutorials ahead of the stage battles. If we play a fat riff, we can recruit our first dudes. The mines are full of our first units, known as the Headbangers. They're forced to mine with their thick skulls, and with them on side, we can fight against Lion White's employees. We go through the ropes of unit movement controls before sticking it to the man fully. I don't exactly know what they're mining here, but their treatment of the workers isn't great at all, and through the power of sick riffs, we can build a massive horde of these Headbangers, and well, just look at them go. Lion White's guards act like how I imagine sleazy record execs act, and it just shows how everything's themed around metal, rock and roll, and the music industry at large. After defending the Headbangers that are still mining, we get to fight the Employee of the Month.
You think you killed them all, don't you? Well, you forgot my favorites. My managers. The ones who keep all the other workers in line. The only two I know I can always count on. Fear and pain.
He's a boss with some unique mechanics, and we've got to use our slam attack to make rocks fall on him, or he's invulnerable due to his massive fists.
All guards. Code red. Repeat.
Well, he drops the guard's swarm, but luckily he leaves his microphone here. If we use the battle cry solo, we can recruit all the headbangers in the place and cause some chaos.
Huh? Whoa. What the?
Yeah! Let's go!
Yeah!
Let's go! Hey, what took you guys so long?
When the men are finally free, we come up with a name for our army, Ironhead, and we start our revolution. I'm classing this as mission 2 of the game, and so far the story has a good setup, with the gameplay trailing slightly behind. Luckily, I think it's such a unique setting that that's overshadowed somewhat, and there's still some mechanics to come into play.
With an E on the end, so people know we're not messing around.
Ironhead.
I like it.
Right on!
I don't get it.
So let's get back to Bladehenge and get this army started!
Ironhead!
I see you guys have already met Lars and Lita, and, Ophelia?
Where's Olofs anyway? Uh-oh.
Oh no. You didn't try to free the girls too, did you?
No, they're already free.
We have to take her to the Killmaster.
Lars, no. Lion White knows about us now. We need to lay low.
Out of my way.
You have to stop him. Please.
Stop him? I'm gonna give him a lift.
When we eventually get back to Bladehenge, Ophelia isn't looking too great. We make the short drive over to help Lars get her to the Killmaster.
Lars, how is she?
Fading. We need to take her to the Killmaster.
The what?
Do not fear him. He chooses that name to scare off intruders.
Oh.
And protect his flock of giant spiders. He is a powerful healer.
All right, let's take Ophelia to him now.
Lars has been ambushed going up the trail, but with the help of Eddie, his sister, and a troop of headbangers, we can work our way up. We eventually learn about some multi-unit double teams in the form of mosh pits with the headbangers. Each unit we find has a move like this.
Hey, they getting money with the head.
After some jolly cooperation, we actually get to see some more of Daviculus's friends.
Hey, leave that guy alone.
Uh-oh.
Demon, I will mess you up.
The funny thing about these is if you take out the rangers, the Gimp himself just kills himself. I don't think I'd ever be saying those words in that combo. Let's skip to the top of the hill.
Now, what the hell?
Noble Killmaster, this woman...
Didn't you see the signs? We don't like visitors up here.
But she's dying.
Yeah, so what's her excuse?
I beg of you, heal this woman who wanted only to free her sisters from the grip of General Lion White.
Oh, you're fighting Lion White. Why didn't you say so? I hate that bastard.
What's happening?
People are pissing me off, for one.
Is she dead?
Not yet, but soon. These are the heaviest strings I got.
Can't your spiders spin new strings?
The Killmaster is actually Motorhead's bassist, Lemmy Kilmister. We need to go to the lair of the Metal Queen, a giant spider, to recover bass strings thick enough to heal Ophelia. A noble cause any, music translates to magic in this world, so why would we assume we're the only casters about? If you're heading to the Metal Queen's lair, you need to leave your arachnophobia at home, because it's the game's inaugural spider mission. We head into the spider's den, and it's quite a straightforward walk to the Metal Queen. Not a whole lot happens until the boss fight. Now, when I first fought her, I didn't realise you meant to shock her until the tooltip told me. I'm quite thankful it did tell me in the end.
That took way too much time. If I'm gonna get these to the Killmaster in time, I'm gonna have to book.
Despite wasting all that time though, Eddie manages to make a chopper out of their corpse, so tomatoes, it doesn't really matter. When we get back to Killmaster, he's impressed with our craftsmanship. We managed to recruit him to our cause also. Now we need to head back to Bladehenge one more time. We've got one more unit to recruit before we can get into the full gameplay, as I'd like to put it. The game's pretty awesome, even before that's introduced though.
Lars, I can always count on you, can't I?
Our third unit are Ophelia's Razor Girls. It turns out Ophelia had a secret project and, well, look.
Alright. Meet me at the Razor Fields if you want to see some more. But please, don't tell Lars, okay? I'd like you to meet my Razor Girls. All of these women have escaped from General Lionwhite's Pleasure Tower.
With your help, I suppose?
I've kept them a secret for their own protection, but now they want to fight, and I'm here to arm them.
Ophelia had been rescuing women from Lionwhite's Pleasure Tower, trying to produce weapons from the carcasses of razor fireballs to arm them. We used the double team ability of the Killmaster to herd said pigs and make it easier for Ophelia. Playing this back, I can see how this mission's a bit of a unit tutorial for the stage battles when it comes to the Killmaster, but it didn't feel like it during gameplay, so, you know, really good game design, I guess. Have some fun herding some balls for her, use the Killmaster to stun them in place, and blammo, we're set.
Alright, I think we got it. Let's clean these up. We got bigger pigs to slaughter. I gotta clean up a little. Meet us back in Bladehenge for a weapons demo?
We head back to Bladehenge and things get very brutal indeed. If you're enjoying the video so far, consider liking, commenting and or subscribing. It really does help the channel out. Anyway, back to the action.
What's happening?
General Lionwhite's army has been spotted on the move, headed this direction.
What's the plan?
The plan? The plan is victory.
Lars, this isn't a fortress. How can we stand our ground here?
I can build you something quick. Trust me, man, we can put on a hell of a show in a hurry. Bring your best engineer and meet me in the northeast field. I got a plan.
It's time for us to put on a show. Lionwhite's forces are coming to attack and, well, I'll let Jack put it to you.
Possibly the best rock show ever.
A show?
Hey man, where I'm from, this guitar makes noises. Here, it blows stuff up. So I can't wait to see what a full-on rock show does.
Young man, welcome to the road crew.
We let Magnus set up our stage for us, and it looks very similar to the Cabbage Boy one Eddie's used to. There's these little mounds of glowing souls, which Eddie implies must be our fans. We set up merch booths on top of them. The fans are our resource for new recruits. Lionwhite appears and we get an intro to his faction. They're a mirror image of our own, if not a little bit more glamorous.
Now that is what I call an army.
This is gonna be a bloodbath.
Well, some sort of bath is definitely in order. Lars Halford, why are you poaching my employees?
Your former slaves are revolting, Lionwhite. Just like your clothes.
We'll see about that. The more sophisticated miners have remained in my employ, as have the girls who know what's best for them. And Killmaster, even some of your own men have decided that there is profit to be made from those little spiders of yours.
Are you done talking? I'd like to get this over with.
Don't worry, this won't take too long. I know how to handle petty labor disputes.
Lion White's voiced by Judas Priest's Rob Halford and is based off of David Bowie. His name's an allusion to a glam metal band, White Lion. Glam metal was a fad that displaced heavy metal in the 80s for a time, to the upset of Schafer and his development team, hence why they're the villains in this game now, as they were back then. Lion White sends waves of dudes at us, and we use minions of various free types we'd recruited previously. One thing of story significance to note is Eddie starts to get some back pain. Have a little supercut of our efforts before we get to see the end result.
Edward, I'll bet you we need a bassist down here to heal the wounded.
Nice one, Eddie!
Sounds good.
Get behind!
Oh, enough. I've never liked this town anyway. I don't know what's gotten into you, Lars, but I know one thing. You will regret what you've started here. Huh.
For too long we have lived in pits, waiting for good fortune to trickle down to us. But our days of waiting are over. We will not sit here and let Lion White decide what happens next. We will gather up this great army and take it on the road. We will march on Lion White and free every man, woman, and child in that city. And then, we will bring it crashing to the ground.
So you're like one of them handy types, I take it. Pack her up quick. I'll be back soon and we'll hit the road. Copy that.
Now the game is based around these stage battles really. There's a ton of new units still to come and some more gameplay mechanics, but you can see how the game's setting up. These are the big show. Eddie makes us a tour bus and we're ready to strike back. We escort the tour bus to our next stop, Battersmith, with Lars making a Beastie Boys reference as we ride out.
No sleep till Battersmith.
The ride's pretty uneventful story-wise, though it does show you a lot of the game's beautiful scenery and some ugly demons.
Nice! Got him!
Battersmith's the main barracks of Lion White's guard, so it's time for us to set up our stage and put on yet another show. This one goes slightly differently, and we're introduced to fan leeches, which we need to use our minions to get rid of or we can't access the geysers. And, oh yeah, Eddie turns into a red-winged demon. Ophelia reckons it must be demon venom, but that seems a bit suspicious. Like, Ophelia was at the same place as us, she's not turning, and she got hit too. Luckily the demon form has some advantages. We can use it to fly overhead and give out orders to our troops in the sky. Now Ophelia, for whatever reason, doesn't seem happy by our new form though, and she alludes to some sort of prophecy in place, but don't worry, we'll find out more about that soon. The band battle plays out like the rest. Use your minions to free your fans, put some merch boosts down, rinse, repeat and advance. The one thing I found Battersmith had that the other fights don't, which is a huge advantage, is there's one of these big fist guards on a mortar cannon that we can actually fly up to and face him one-on-one if we want to shut it down. There's not really any other instances of anything like this in the rest of the band battles, and I feel the rest of the game would have been even better if we had some areas we could really influence the fight by flying off and doing some one-on-one stuff. Like where the game currently is, Eddie's best place in the other stage battles is up front with his troops, providing support and doing some damage. And the concert goes as planned. With the troops dispatched, Lion White isn't happy either.
I should have known better than to hire guards whose hands are bigger than their brains. You're all fired. Every fat, worthless one of you.
Stop, Edward. They are no longer working for Lion White. They are no longer our enemies. Our real enemy is through there. Let us move forward.
Got the stage all packed up, boss.
Our demon form wears off and we're faced with our next barrier, getting past these giant towers. Eddie actually encounters some of his own people, the roadies, and we're able to get through the canyon if we can get these sneaky bastards some amps to throw on their backs. It's off to Ophelia at the aptly named Screaming Wall to get some. That counts as 2 victories on our belt,
My
so
friends,
we're kind of a smash hit.
these are roadies, and they're here just in the nick of time. They're gonna get us through this canyon, but first they're gonna need some monster amps.
You mean, like those of the Screaming Wall?
Not sure, but I like how that sounds. Okay, meet me at the Screaming Wall with your roadie friends, and we'll see if they can carry a little extra wattage.
The Screaming Wall. To start with, we actually recruit the big hand dudes in the intro screen before we even start the mission.
They want to help out. They feel bad.
Okay, but I can't be holding their hands the whole time. Get it? Because their hands are too big.
They're pretty good if expensive units for fighting vehicles, and you'll see more of those later. The Screaming Wall is cool as fuck. If music's magic in this world, then this place is some sort of hallowed ground, with amps stretching far off into the coastline, and the sounds they pump out are enough to melt stone into lava. It's very, very heavy metal. We fight through some goons and pick up some amps for the roadies, and not a whole lot happens during. We have to double team with the roadies to keep the gulls away, and they're pretty good stealth units as they're semi-invisible. And when we get back, things get extra saucy.
Thought of everything, didn't you?
Well, I wanted to make sure you got back before your boyfriend got jealous.
Oh, don't say stupid stuff.
Hey, it's pretty clear you love Lars.
Of course I do. He's a great man. An inspirational leader. Selfless, heroic. Not that hard to look at either. His chest... He's like a brother to me.
The romance between Eddie and Ophelia felt quite rushed to me, as much as I liked seeing it. Like, it's cool for a self-insert, it appeals to the male gaze, but whether it's romance books ruining it for me or what, I just felt it developed a bit quickly. Saying that, he can melt faces and he's built like a Greek god, so it'll probably get me going too. Head back to the crossing, sneak over with the road crew, and hear the tea between Leda and Ophelia.
All the wall-mounted impalers.
Oh, you think so?
Hey, sorry. It's my first time in the Cleve, okay?
I think they know we're coming.
Oh, let's take that down. That would break Lars's heart.
And you're hoping to save that pleasure for yourself?
They don't trust me. They think I'm a tear drinker.
Why do they think that?
Because my parents fought in the Black Tear Rebellion. It was a long time ago, but now none of them will ever really trust me. No matter how much I do for our cause. Now, I've told you, now you won't trust me either.
I trust you.
Until they turn you against me.
Here. My dad gave me this. He said it belonged to my mother. It's the only thing I have of hers. I trust it to you.
No matter what?
No matter what.
A little bit more romance building before we begin the big show against Lion White, and weirdly we're at a bit of a halfway point in the game, and there were some issues in development with content having to be cut. Hell, they had enough going to work on a sequel several times the size of the game, which got binned. Nearly ruined the firm, so I feel one of the downsides of this game is the length and pacing of the main story, and we'll get into that a bit later, but for now, let's fuck up some glam metal posers.
Oh, bravo. Goody. Someone is putting on a puppet show. Honestly, you people embarrass me. I try to show Emperor Diviculus that we humans aren't all dirty, brutish animals. I show him that we can be refined, we can be beautiful, and that we can be profitable. I do it to protect you people from Diviculus. I am the only thing standing between you and him. And what do you give me in return? Grief.
The time has come for you to shut the hell up, Lion White.
There's not much of story mention to these stage battles. Like, we've got to attack Lion White's forces, claim the Fangeisers and defend them after. He tends to send out little dribbles of units down a central channel, so it's not a hard fight. The only conditional thing is sending in roadies to take down his stage, as their towers blocking the path for other troops. And they'll one-bang your troops, like, don't even try it without the roadies.
Freeze! Move toward the light!
Oh,
Get moving! Find the beacon and get yourselves there.
Eventually we blast through to his stage. Now these battles could take a hot minute. Like, I think this one took me 15 minutes to finish. Some of them are a little bit longer later in the game.
Lion White's house, get it! Destroy the tower!
Hey, what's the deal? I thought you were committed to this project. Get back inside right now.
Now we can finally live in peace.
Lion White was only a puppet. He was not our true oppressor. Emperor Diviculus will not let us live in peace. Ever.
We can hide from him.
No. We are done with that. We will keep marching down the Great Highway until we are at Diviculus's doorstep. And then we will truly end this. Once and for all.
Woo! Hey, boss, you coming to the after party?
Turns out Diviculus is coming and the cutscenes absolutely cook. Like, I'm trying to avoid turning this video into a film commentary, but there's so much to note in these scenes, from the story beats to Tim Curry's silky delivery. Diviculus appears after we disrupt his human industry and, well, you'll see.
Enough! Sakoria? Why? You disrupt my industry, but I understand. You try to make me look bad, so you can strip me of my power. A very commendable sabotage. I know it was you at the Temple of Ormagoden. I could smell your blood then. Just as I can smell it now.
These dogs. These are free men and women. And they no longer serve you or anyone else.
Do not dare to speak to me, you insect! Who do you think you are?
I am proud to say that these free humans have named me their king.
Well, in that case... It seems I had less to worry about than I thought.
Lars!
My little sister. You must take care of her.
Get him to the bus. You son of a...
Angus, get everyone on the bus and get out of here. We'll catch up. Go! Come on.
Shit goes full chaos. Like, we have to ride out of Lion White's fortress as Diviculus attacks. In the base game, you've got Through the Fire and the Flames playing in the background. I've obviously had to mute that, but it's very cinematic and memorable while you're playing.
moment to morning, and a time before the light. In flames our death's eternal reign, we ride toward the fight. And the darkness is falling down, and times are tough, alright. The sound of evil laughter falls around the world tonight.
When we eventually get out, there's a bit of internal conflict.
We made it. We're safe.
He can't protect you anymore. No one can.
Lita.
She sold us out. Told them we were coming.
Lita, why would I do that?
Will you not let me avenge my brother?
Let you? I'll help you avenge your brother, but first I need to talk to Ophelia. Alone.
Don't, Edward. She'll manipulate you, like she did with Lars.
Wait here.
Man, what are we gonna do with her? She's gone nuts.
What did he mean about your mission?
What?
To spy on us. Diviculus.
He wasn't talking about me.
Oh, right, Sikoria. So who's that?
I can't tell you.
Can't tell me? What are you hiding from us?
I was trying to protect you.
Protect me? Or protect yourself?
I was doing it for you.
Doing what? Leading us into a trap?
You said you'd trust me.
I did. And in return, you kept secrets from me. And now Lars is dead.
What do I care if you turn your back on me? Just like the rest of them. You're just like the rest of them.
We head off to the Death's Clutch to hide from the demons and restore Lars, but unfortunately...
They warned me that something like you might return.
What if she goes back to her old life?
Death's Clutch marks Act 2 of the game, with our main villain shifting from Lion White to a completely new faction, the Drowning Doom. They're a goth black metal army with a full list of undead troops we've not really seen before. They're actually my favourite faction. They're a little bit Marilyn Manson. You'll see their introduction and it's so cool, just completely different to what we've seen before, super menacing.
Eddie!
Mangus, are you on the board?
Too early, man.
Take a look down here. It's later than you think.
We set up our stage to defend from them, and they've a wide list of troops as mentioned, including your basic melee fodder, bridal ghosts that slow down troops around them, these horrid severed head things that can snipe your units, and just a load of vehicles that dish out a ton of debuffs and damage. They seem to excel against infantry, which sucks when Ironhead's mostly infantry. The fight, while slightly difficult, is really cool and memorable, and the new enemies, the dread, the mystery behind their motivations, it's all really awesome. When all seems nearly lost, we gain some friends in the form of the Fire Barons, an anti-infantry bike fire unit. They're pretty flashy. When the battle's done, we turn over one of their gravediggers to see them wearing Ophelia merch. The Sea of Black Tears has been reopened by Diviculus, and it seems it'll be human versus human until we take him out. Eddie does some solo recon and we see Ophelia's new look, and she's a bit of a goth mommy now.
It's got a special seat in the back, just for you, and betrayal. And you also taught me the power of music. Here's a little song that I've been dying to play for you.
Mangus, back up.
Represent, you gotta represent. Chase a check, you never chase a bitch, bitch. Mask off, fuck your mask off, oh, mask off.
In the 3 months we've been gone from Bladehenge, it seems the demons have moved into the first region, and so with enemies behind us and in front of us, we decided we need to take it directly to one of them, and Ophelia is the only one we can actually reach. We need to patch up that bridge that Ophelia dropped, so we escort some scaffolding there, and we can head towards the Sea of Black Tears. En route, we enter a whole new jungle region, and it feels at this point like we've skipped some main content, but I promise we haven't. We could go back and do side missions and XYZ, but it won't help our pacing. So we do get to see Tenacious D's Carl Gass if we do that.
I'll bet everybody's totally afraid of it.
Look, I know the guy sent you to give me a hard time, but you know what? You can all fuck off, because I never asked for mortar cannon duty. It's not my fault I suck.
Whoa, hey.
If we want to continue down the main track, however, it is into the swamp.
But you aim it at the bad guys, and by the time your cannon thing hits the ground, they've already run by.
Well, how much do you lead them?
Lead who?
How far ahead of your enemies do you aim?
Man, what are you talking about?
Look, I'll show you.
Really? You'd help me out?
When we enter the swamp, there's a ton of metal beasts, these big lion things that look like members of KISS. Now we need to use the fire barons to ensnare them so Leader can grab them. We want to recruit them to our cause.
Just jumps on them while they're asleep. We have a plan, man. You must not lose faith in the plan.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fire in the hole! Jump, Leader, jump!
Capture 3 of them, and Leader, the Baron, and Eddie will get captured themselves. The leader of the Zalia, the Amazons, is Rima. She's voiced by Lita Ford of the Runaways, think Cherry Bomb. Now, the Amazons themselves are based on KISS characters, and again, just all the rock influence is amazing in this game.
Yeah, so, long story short, I'm from the future, and I'm here to recruit you for my army.
We're already an army, and you're not welcome to join it.
After being flung into a fiery death trap, we can impress the women with our rock and get a bit more exposition.
You?
No, that ain't me. That's my dad.
Eddie, that's a famous warrior of our time, not yours. He was the leader of the Black Tear Rebellion. His name was Ragnarok.
He fought alongside the Zalia. He gave us the skills to defend ourselves when the Blackwater last rose.
Yeah, he gave me something too. I found this in his attic after he...
Something I missed with this scene was the impressive face animations with Jack Black's eyebrows being sort of true to life with his acting. And his little joke of, you know, my father gave me something, and the camera angle was implying he's talking about his cock. There's just so much attention to detail here.
I ask you, will you fight at our side now?
If you will still have us in your army, son of Ragnarok.
Zalia help us get through the swamp, making use of a very metal double team of fire breathing from the metal beast, until we get a little bit stuck in the dry ice mines. Dry ice being used for a ton of fog-based special effects in real life.
Maybe the fog will give us some cover.
We get to mining just as Ophelia arrives, and we get the best cutscene in the game. Now, unfortunately, I can't play the sound on it because you've got Black Sabbath's Mr. Crowley playing, but trust me, like, the song, the context of it playing, Ophelia's actions and the cinematography, like, it's such a hard scene. It cooks. 10-10. We have a little battle of the bands with the Drowning Death, which online a lot of people seem to struggle with, but I found it easy enough to Zerg rush through while they attack you. Things progress as expected.
Fingers off.
Shoulder time!
Don't play with the body.
What about it?
she's gone. But I do see something dangerous. And I like it. I think it's time our show had a second stage.
And with them gone, we get to unlock our best unit, the Rock Crusher, as we advance. We have another escort mission. We finally land at the Sea of Black Tears. Eddie reminisces about his romantic feelings for Ophelia, and then we bring more of the same in terms of gameplay. Something to note is that to advance across this big bridge on the stage battle, we have to use the double team of the Rock Crusher to take out some environmental hazards. Again, something I think they missed leaving so late to bring it in. Like, we've got this and one other stage battle. Technically it's one long one if you want to count it that way, but you know, there was plenty of opportunity to bring the environment in. Once we get through to Ophelia, things get a bit extra metal.
Please do not stop. You two have been having such an entertaining war.
I see you called in your boyfriend for help. Sikoria?
No, wait. Sikoria?
Sikoria? This girl? This sad, human girl? Oh, you think she is the grand demon witch? The white-winged death? This soggy puppet couldn't hold a candle to Emperor Sikoria. The Emperor was our most fierce, our most bloodthirsty warrior. Oh, I'll admit I was pleased when she left our time, her throne unattended. But when she did not return, I mourned for her. I thought she had failed.
What are you talking about? She did fail. My father killed her, right? She's never coming back.
That's not exactly what your father did to her. The road can be a lonely place, don't you think? No, she succeeded in sending us a great wealth of secrets, not from the future, but from our past, through the vessel of her own child. Thank you, son of Sikoria, for completing your mother's mission. Like we did the last time. By tearing out its heart.
Ophelia!
Oh, please. That was nothing compared to what you did to her. You made her into a little monster. Now let me show you how to make a big one.
Davicula steals Ophelia's heart, and we have to face off against a demonic host and a giant creature made of the Black Sea. It's the hardest stage battle of the game, and the final one at that. When I was actually recording this, it took me like 3 attempts. Like, I wasn't a happy bunny. We have to contend with Daviculus, his units, and the random summons that the sea creature pumps out. There's 2 heads on each side of the creature we need to take out to get to the final phase, and the only problem is, once you take one out, you get absolutely swamped by heavy units, and I'm not too familiar with the Tainted Coil's unit structure, so I don't exactly know how to beat them either. There's a few ways to deal with this mission, including turtling up in the first phase, you know, just maxing your unit count before swarming, or you just rush each head with a ton of units that are going to smash. Either way, you have to play it slightly differently than the other stage battles. If you fail, you get this saucy scene.
You know, you have your mother's eyes. And soon, so shall I. On a necklace, I think.
And if you succeed, you get to face Daviculus one-on-one. It's a fairly easy fight. You know, the hack and slash parts of this game tend to be. I did feel those hack and slash elements were slightly underdeveloped, and I feel like, you know, either a sequel or a remake would expand on those. Smash him out and you get some revenge for that horrid stage battle you just had.
Try it. Decapitation!
With Ridiculous gone, we get a long old cutscene where Eddie saves Ophelia, they kiss of course, Ironhead thanks their fans with a couple of fake outs where you think they're thanking Eddie, but they're actually thanking Lars and Leader. After all, they're the talent, he's just a roadie, sticks to the shadows. Eddie does get his thanks with a signed book from the gang, and he chooses to stay here at Bladehenge with the group. I mean, after all, he doesn't know any time travel, so I don't know where he thinks he's going. The tour's over, their home secured, and the story's finished. With that, what did I think of the game?
Some of the other guys wanted to sign it for you.
Don't forget about us, man.
Dudes, I'm not going away. I just got a couple errands.
This game's a love letter to the whole genre of metal music. Like, you can clearly tell a lot of work was done, not only in the design of the game, but the execution, with them securing so many big names and the overlapping systems of two different genres of game. That being said, I think the gameplay can be a bit scuffed at times, with a few systems missing from each genre they've borrowed from. It's average RTS and average hack and slash layered to make something greater than the sum of its parts. The soundtrack's amazing, like it's really great, and the story was wacky, but really enjoyable. I thought it was quite well written, even if there was a factor of pacing issues in the last act of the game. I think a remake could help polish some of these areas they lost out on, or better yet, a full sequel. But, you know, we got Psychonauts 2, so Doublefine give us what we all want. This game definitely had an impact on me in my teenage years, including my music taste, and even with the nostalgia goggles off. On this replay, I still found it to be a great game. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 if I'm being completely honest, but a full recommendation to pick it up. Like, it's $10.99 at full price, or $2.74 on the summer sale, if that's still going on when this video goes out. That's an insane bargain for such a unique and fun game, and I really do highly rate it. I just wish it got a chance for a sequel, or a bit more time in development to polish out some kinks in the overall design. Peace out, Smooth Brains.
A good roadie knows his whole job is to make someone else look good, keep someone else safe, help someone else do what they were put here to do. A good roadie stays out of the spotlight. If he's doing his job right, you don't even know he's there. Once in a while he might step on stage just to fix a problem, to set something right. But then before you even realize he was there, or what he did, he's gone.